On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, we talk about the big video presentations from Nintendo and Sony, Ethan jumps a lot, and Tony falls to pieces. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, Tony.
What's going on?
It's been a week, man.
It's been a week.
It's been a week.
It has been a week, that is for sure. We had a big game release this week, so...
Yeah, that was a good part of the week.
That was a really good part of the week. We'll get into it here in a little bit, but I ended up canceling my pre-order for the game.
He's talking about Super Mario 3D All-Stars.
Yes. I had the game pre-ordered on Amazon, but I was not getting a shipping confirmation of any kind. Just not any notification that the game was actually going to be mailed to me. So on Thursday, I canceled the pre-order and just got it digitally instead because I didn't want to wait or risk not being able to have it on.
The guy's literally putting it in the box, slapping the label on there about to tape it shut. They're like, no. He said he doesn't want it.
That would have been sad. But I'm not that, I'm not a collector, so I'm not that worried about having the game.
He was setting the record, the world universe record for packaging all the games physically possible that someone could do within like an hour, and yours was like the last one, so he could break the record, and you ruined it.
And I ruined it for him.
He went home, he cried to his wife, called his mom, said he's sorry for being such a bad son, and it's all your fault, Tony. His dad is looking down at him with disappointment now.
Oh, and now I need to order the game again.
It's too late. The damage has been done.
Yeah, that's true, unfortunately. There's not much I can do at this point.
Amazon's not giving him the proper 401k now because they let him down.
Oh, I don't want to get anybody fired or ruin their life.
Ah, man. But yeah, Super Mario 3D All-Stars came out.
It did.
We're rocking Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy all on one game carts or download, depending which one you did.
No Galaxy 2 though.
For reasons. Not because they didn't want to, but they actually overhauled Galaxy to make it work on here. It's not emulating that one compared to the other two, which are half emulated or something. It's really weird.
It is weird how they've done it.
Also, if you're one of those who pirated the game and you're complaining about Mario 64 not working, it's because you pirated it.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's a safeguard in there. People were complaining about because Mario 64 is you go in, if you quit out with the minus button, it quits out and you can go into another game, but the other games start crashing or something because it still sees Mario 64 as running. So it's causing some memory leak or error. I don't know. But it's because it's a safeguard issue to not allow it to work. So there you go.
Okay. I did not realize that was a thing.
Yeah, there's probably a workaround for it already. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure there probably is. Hackers gonna hack, and they know the way to get around some of these things.
The ones that I follow, it's they may mention that here or there, but the main things that the ones I'm following do, they go in, they're digging through the files, seeing what's in there, and they're like, hey, look at this cool thing and this and that. It's that's really awesome. I want to see more of this.
You're following data miners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the reason we know that these games are emulated and they're not native or whatever. Well, I mean, they are native, but It's not we're not streaming the games from Nintendo. That would be weird. because Nintendo doesn't do that kind of thing.
Oh, by the way, the version of Super Mario 64 on this collection is actually Super Mario 64 Shindo.
Okay.
I don't know if I mentioned this on the show. I think I did. It's the Japanese exclusive one that came with the Rumble feature that came out later in the 64 life.
Okay.
They Nintendo included the Rumble feature on there for starters, and they patched the game to not have the backwards long jump glitch doesn't work anymore. And this was done on 64, so that's a big deal.
Hmm.
Some voice lines are different, like whenever you throw Bowser, I think Mario says bye bye or something
It
like
says
that.
bye bye.
Yeah. So these are all changes that have been around since the 64. This wasn't something they just did for this version.
Yeah.
And the quickest way to check it was to start Mario 64 on there and then hit the L bumper or L1 or L2. I don't know which one is considered Z button, but that's the way I was able to check it because Mario's face pops up on the screen and you're able to mess with it. You press that and then it just does the cascade of Mario faces around him,
Interesting.
which was exclusive to Shindo.
Yeah. Okay.
The more you know.
See,
Education with
see,
evil.
I did not know that.
Yep. That's how I confirmed it myself before I even asked anyone on the internet for that one.
Okay. So yeah, and it's 64 is also the only game that is not in widescreen as well.
I'm sure that would have issues if it was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know I've seen a lot of people online complaining that it wasn't in widescreen because you can play it in widescreen on Dolphin or, on other emulators, whatever emulator you're
Yeah,
using.
but what it is you're seeing more of the screen space, and I'm sure it's something to do with the way they're doing the emulation on there. So that way you're keeping the original experience for the most part.
Hmm.
But it's I'm probably like a load issue thing on there, and so Dolphin emulator that's not Nintendo sanctioned, so that's why it's not that makes it what's the word I'm looking for? That argument's invalid, because Nintendo's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
it's
it doesn't.
possible, but that's not Nintendo's vision for the game.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me that the game is in 4:3. It's fine. I don't even notice the black bars on the side of the screen. So, like when I'm playing, if I'm just looking at the screen, then yeah, I can see that it's got those black bars on the side, but I don't really care.
Yeah, get smaller eyes, people.
I don't know that it's that easy to do. You can't just surgically change your eyes.
You get the 7 Dragon Balls and you make a wish, and there you go.
Oh, okay.
You get the 7 Dragon Balls and wish for smaller eyes. You don't even bother wishing for the game to be in widescreen.
The thing that
So
would probably be easier
just
and less painful to do.
you go
Don't
through
wish
the
for
process
that.
of doing that, and the dragon's like, "Go ahead, waste your wish." Oh,
So have you played much of 3D All Stars yet?
yeah, I've actually put several hours into Galaxy because that's the one of the 3 games I don't actually own a copy of.
Really?
I have Galaxy 2, oddly enough, but not Galaxy 1.
Galaxy 2 is a better game.
Oh, I started it and I was like really, really bugged by the fact that I don't have the first game, so I quit playing it.
You don't have to have played the first Galaxy game though
But
to
I want to
understand
play the
Galaxy
first
2.
Galaxy game because I want to go into Galaxy 2 and be like, I know what I'm doing. Let's do more of this.
Okay. Well, now you get that opportunity.
Exactly.
So what are you thinking of it? Is it
I I I like it and hate it at the same time.
It is really, really weird to get used to the way you move around in that game because the planetoids really change up the way you have to think about
Yeah,
a
if you land
Mario
on like
game.
a small little marble planet where you can see the whole planet on the screen, I don't know where north is. So I'll be holding like right, and Mario's going to be doing circles on the left side. And it's like, okay, land on it again from somewhere else. Now north is on the bottom, and that's where I'm running circles around. It doesn't make any sense. And it's like, I just want to run towards the camera so I can get over to this other side.
Yeah, it definitely takes some getting used to the movement in that game because it is very different from everything you have ever done. I think Galaxy is by far the best game on the in the package. Um, I was never a huge fan of 64. Um, I played a bunch of it in high school because I had a teaching assistant hour the second period of the day, and we didn't have to do anything during that class because it was a TA for band, and the band director was never actually there during that point of the day because he had a different class to teach.
Okay.
So one of the guys brought in an N64, and we played Mario a lot during the day. So uh, I've played a bunch of Mario 64, but it's not been one that I have revisited a bunch over the years.
I played it enough to get 120 stars a couple of dozen times.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I've done that with Galaxy. I've played through Galaxy a couple of times. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
the thing that's bugging me with Galaxy is I don't know if I'm getting all the stars on everything, and then I finally figured out, oh, it's gonna have the crown next to the name when I'm done there, and
yeah,
so I have somewhere it's like I've done everything I can, but it's not doing that still. So it's like, what am
yeah,
I
because
missing?
it'll come back and it ran. There will be other stars that will randomly appear.
How dare they?
So so you can do everything that's on there, but there may still be like one of the purple coin stars or something like that that come later. They're randomly done as you play through the game.
Oh, I found a green power star or something on there.
I've seen those, but I don't remember what they do.
You gotta
Or
get like 3 of them so you can activate a green warp star deal.
it's been a while since I played Galaxy.
But I've only
Um,
found one. I've been to like 20 planets.
my kids have been playing a little bit of it. Abby has been more into Galaxy, and I think Andrew's been more into Sunshine playing the games this week.
I need to play Sunshine, and I guess see if the camera controls are gonna be something I hate or not.
Sunshine is the one that I'm playing through right now. It's the one that I haven't played recently because I played Sunshine once on the GameCube, and that was it. That's the only time I've ever played it. And we've had dozens of opportunities at this point to play 64, and I've owned multiple copies of Galaxy, both physically and digitally on the Wii U.
Wow.
So I'm trying to play through Sunshine again and give that game like a fair shake.
Cool. I'm wanting to see if we have like anyone that's gonna make this like a standard for its own speedrun category going through those 3 games.
Where you have to play all three of them
Yeah,
together.
yeah, some kind of relay race thing with it.
That'd be interesting. And I'd be really curious to see how they do it, if they play through the same games at the same time, or if they decide, some runners will play through them in chronological order, some of them will play in a different order. It'd be really interesting to see how they do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you have a Switch, you could do the Super Mario All Stars series.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have
Uh,
the Switch Online as well, so I mean, barrier to entry there, sadly.
yeah, but a small one.
It's a
So,
small one that not many people are willing to go through for various dumb reasons, I'm sure, but some people have good reason not to as well.
hmm.
Like if you could just pay to have the if you could just pay like a single price to have whatever Super Nintendo games on there, that'd be great, but we don't have that feature anymore.
No. No, it's all or nothing. And the library of games on the Switch Online services have not been super great. Like they're not bad, but there is definitely some notable omissions.
Indeed. Didn't they just add like Donkey Kong Country 2 or something?
It's coming. I don't think it's out yet.
Okay, good enough. Because that means we're that much closer to Donkey Kong Country 3.
Yeah, there's.
I'm very hopeful apparently.
I'm sure it will come eventually. I mean, they're not gonna. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't put all the Donkey Kong Country games on there.
Yeah, I mean, there's no legal reason for them not to,
No,
unless Rare somehow owns the bears that they used in that game.
I wouldn't think so. I would think
And
anything.
even then, I'm sure it'd be like, "Hey, Microsoft, can we use this game because of your stupid bears?" And they're like, yes."
Sure. Can we have Mario Galaxy on the Xbox One?
Then they hang up.
The bears aren't worth that much.
It's actually the same bear. It's just hit with like different shaders and stuff.
There you go. They just changed the color of the bear.
They do.
Done.
They really do. It's like this. It's under the same animations, and they just swap out shaders and clothing icons
Yeah.
or clothing accessories. We'll go with that.
Uh,
So yeah,
yeah.
Super Mario 3D All Stars is a cool thing that came out this week, and we could talk about it forever today if we tried. I'm sure, but
It's really good. Like as far as Mario games go, it's the perfect mix of those to bring some of those older games. Because we're getting 3D World later. I really wish that had been part of the package, but I'm glad we're still getting that. Because 3D World is a fantastic game, and it died on the Wii U, and I'm really glad it's going to get a second life. When February is that when it comes out? I think February
yes,
20th.
yes, something like that.
So I'm hoping at some point we'll see Galaxy 2 show up, whether as a paid DLC for 3D All Stars or as just a free bonus game that they throw in for people that have it. Because I really do. I like Galaxy 2, the gameplay part of Galaxy 2 better than Galaxy 1 with the addition of Yoshi and some of the stuff that they've done in that. I think the level design is really good. So I would love to see Galaxy 2.
I want to see, and they'll probably wait. I'm betting they'll probably wait like a year or so before doing this. But I guess another 5 years before doing this. But I'm thinking they'll probably do like another anniversary collection or another All Stars collection. And it'd be like the new Super Mario collection.
Okay.
I can see them
I
doing
could
something like that.
Yeah, where you get all of the, from the DS, the two games on the DS's,
Yeah, those
and
would
then
scale up pretty easily. I mean, they should, right?
maybe that first game, if you look at it now, it's pretty gross to look at. Like Mario is just a jumble of spiky pixels and
Yeah, that's right.
he
They
looks
might be able to do something with the if they did like a
just
remaster.
remake it in Mario Super Mario Maker 2
There you
and
go.
release that version of the game.
Sounds like a project.
Oh, dude, don't give me any ideas now when I have to do it. Mario Galaxy, not Mario Galaxy. New Super Mario Brothers remake in Mario Maker.
New
All right,
Super Mario Maker.
that's a project. All right. So, well, anything else you've been playing that you want to talk about?
I played a game that I think me and you both got copies of for review called um, Other Side, and that's other spelled correct way, uh, side CIDE, all one word. Other Side. In fact, I should probably bring up a Google page about this game.
It's an XCOM style strategy game, um, but it is a sort of horror themed. Like
Everything is monochromatic and red.
yes, it is black and white and
Red all over.
splashes of red from all of the blood that comes out of not only your characters but the enemies. So
This was developed by Lightbulb Crew. It's a turn-based tactics game, as Tony just said. That's on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and well, you can get it on Steam or Windows, whatever you want to call that at this point.
I think it's been out on the other consoles for a little while now, and it's just now making its way to Switch. I
I
think.
think it's been. Looks like it may have been on Steam since at least July. I think.
Okay.
I'm just going by a rough estimate of what I'm seeing on
Yeah.
a quick search. May or may not be. Initial release date was 2019. Never mind. Okay,
Man,
I
I've put an
tried.
hour or an hour and a half into the game so far.
I okay. It came out July 28th, 2020. They
Okay,
tried to
yeah,
get
so
it. They were
it's not
trying to
that
get it
old.
out last year.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. So you control a group of daughters who are female warriors who fight against the nightmarish suffering in a dimension known as the Dark Corner. I'm reading the wiki page, Tony. That's why I'm so knowledgeable right now. Uh,
Yeah, so
it,
it's basically
it's basically XCOM.
it is a horror themed version of XCOM basically.
You're
So
you the character classes you control. Right now there's only three. I don't know if there's any more, but you have like your uh, sword person who's using I mean, they use a sword, nothing else. You have like a vanguard unit. They have a shield and like a spear, and then you
mhm.
have your ranged unit, and they use dual guns.
Yep.
I'm hoping there's more later on. Be nice. Don't
I
know.
don't know that there is.
It'll probably depend on like how you equip them up with abilities.
Yeah.
But it's it's as an XCOM game, it's fine. As the mechanics for fine tuning and stuff that happens between rounds comes into play, is where I have
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, that's where you're not a fan of, and I'm okay with it so far. I haven't run into too many issues. There's a lot of strategy that's involved in that because you can't heal between fights. There's no healing items in the game at all. Um,
Oh, the three classes were Blade Master, Shield Bearer, and Soul Slinger.
okay.
That's just a fancy way of saying Gunslinger.
Yeah. So, and because there are no healing items in the game, you have to, number one, be very, very careful about what you do in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also some strategy about exactly because there are ways to heal characters, but it involves sacrificing other characters to heal characters that you want. And death is permanent, like in Fire Emblem. So if a character dies, they
It's
go. There is a way to bring them
you
back.
say
But
permanent, but it's not exactly permanent.
that is true. There is a way to resurrect dead characters, but it's very limited, and it's not like you can sacrifice somebody and just bring them right back to life every time.
Yeah,
That's not.
it's not an NIS game like Disgaea where you it's like, all right, here, have a printy, throw it, it explodes, your guy's now dead. Go back to the base, resurrect him, and now he's fine.
Yeah.
As nice as that would be, we're not that
Uh,
lucky.
so all of the characters get names, and they you have ways to improve their abilities, their stats, um, with RPG type elements. And so because of that, they're banking on you sort of forming bonds with these characters and not wanting them to die, but
At the
they're
same
going to
time,
have to
they're
die.
telling you get rid of them. Uh,
And
by the way, I have not mentioned this. This game is also a roguelike.
okay, yeah.
So they expect you to die a lot. So
Yes,
you're going to go into battle. Eventually, you'll get to where you have nothing left. So you'll have to restart from round one. When you restart, you're going to come back. You'll have three new daughters. You'll have access to your old ones from the cemetery, and you'll have a big bonus. I say big bonus. You'll get a bonus based on what you've done before. So you're not restarting from nothing. You're restarting with some advantages. So that way you're coming back bigger, badder, stronger. And another NIS game I can compare that to would be Zeta Hero Project.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
It was it was think like Pokemon Dungeon sort of thing where you move, the enemy moves, and then you can do
Yeah.
actions, they do actions.
Yeah.
And the whole point was to just keep fighting, getting stronger, and then you come back to life after you die, and that's when the experience becomes permanent or something.
Okay.
The whole thing was real pain. Uh, the game looks pretty when you're looking at like characters and stuff. The maps
Hmm.
themselves are kind of, eh, but that's also partially because of everything being black and white and foggy, I guess, and post-apocalyptic. And I still don't know what's going on in this game.
Well, basically, you're just trying to get powerful enough to destroy, like
The other
very,
force.
very, very powerful demons. Um, and to do that, you will die a lot. And I'm not entirely sure how many chapters the game is broken up to into. I know the chapter that I'm looking at, it's like 3 levels, and then there's a mini boss, and then there's 3 more levels and a boss.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to that first mini boss, they're like, you can fight it now or you can fight it later. The choice is yours. But it'll be more powerful if you fight it later.
Ooh.
And then you'll have to. And then it made it seem like that if you do that, you're going to have to fight both bosses at the same time. And I'm not entirely sure if that was the case and I just misread it. Uh,
I'm right
so,
at the point where I'm about to do that first fight, so I haven't encountered that just yet.
okay. So, and as you know, if you get to a place where you die, you have to start that whole chapter over again. But like you said, you are more powerful. You have access to other things to better equip your sisters, daughters, whatever they're called. I don't remember.
Daughters.
Daughters. To prepare them for that fight. And some of the earlier fights will be a little easier, and then you'll be able to get a little further. Then you'll die again. You have to start over, and it just rinse and repeat that process until you're just powerful enough to be able to um, take down the boss at the end of the chapter.
If it sounds tedious, then it probably is.
So, I
And
mean,
and, and I still hate that. It's like, all right, you're gonna have to sacrifice someone to heal up this character. It's like, that's my whole B team out there. That I'm using now, while my A team is injured,
yeah.
and they're telling me to get rid of. Mm,
Yeah, they're tugging at your heartstrings a little bit with the, I like these characters. I don't want them to die, but I
I'm
know they
glad they're
have to
randomly
die.
generated, or else I'd care a lot more.
That's true.
I kind of wish they go a little bit further and make it more like XCOM, where you can do like the cover firing. I know they have that with the HP abilities, but
Hmm.
like I want to be able to get like up against the rock, have like half cover stuff, and then I can like pop out from behind there and shoot from behind the rock. And I'm not
Yeah.
seeing that. It's like I'll just stand up there behind the rock. If I can aim around it, that's great. If I can't, then I can't.
Yeah. So it does have some of that stuff where you can put your character into like an Overwatch type thing, but if you do that, a lot of those attacks sacrifice health, which is because it's at a premium, you don't want to use those skills unless you just absolutely have to.
Yeah. By the way, the tutorial stuff is real handholdy on there,
Hmm.
and so I was using like HP stuff, like it was candy, not expecting that to be a thing.
Yeah, but because you're in the tutorial, it's not really doing a lot of damage to you. Um, but once you
I
get
mean,
out of the,
when you're talking like 5 or 10% of your HP value,
hmm
well, it starts becoming a bit much when that's not when you can't recover that.
yeah, so it's good, and I can see myself really enjoying the game as I get further along. But at the same time, I'm not entirely sure I'm gonna like the way that you have to, you know, purposely kill your team to make your team stronger.
That's one way to think about it, but
So I'm going to put some more time into it this week. I imagine you probably will as well.
yeah, I'll put more time in it. I might like it more by then, or hate it even more. We'll find out.
So
I'm glad you're equally as knowledgeable and annoyed by some things as well.
yeah, well, I think generally we have pretty similar tastes in games for the most part. There are some exceptions, but
Sure. What have you been playing mostly this week?
so a few weeks ago, I don't know, it's probably 2 or 3 months ago at this point now. Um, I grabbed a copy of Knack 2 on sale. It was $5 on PlayStation.
Right.
And I finally got around this week to playing through it. We started playing it co-op with Jake. We both loved the first Knack game. I am a genuine fan of the Knack games. We played through that first one, I think, probably half a dozen times together. And when this one was on sale, I was like, okay, grabbing it. I don't care. We're gonna play it. It was $5. It was $5 well spent too, because we've been having a blast with the game. It is much improved over the first game.
Okay. Good to know.
The first game was a single player game that had some co-op tacked onto it at the last minute, basically, is what it felt like. Everything centered around the first character. It was almost like the second player was, an afterthought.
Right.
So this one feels like it is a single player game, but it feels like this one was built also with co-op in mind. The two characters are separate. They have their own separate, health and power and all of that stuff. And while I wish they had like some split screen like the Lego games where, if you're together, it shows one screen, but if you get further apart, the screen would split. And the second player could go off and do something separately from the first player, which they still haven't done. The camera's tied to one character.
Does it kind of like zoom out or anything, or
no, it doesn't. So if the other character gets off the screen, they just get warped back to where the other character is.
Yeah, close. It could be worse.
So they've also built specific co-op moves into this. So if you have an ability, like you get a body slam ability or something where you can jump up in the air and then you basically pancake yourself down onto the ground. First of all, the animation is great when you do that, because for a number of reasons. One of the things they've done now is up near your health bar, they've also listed how tall you are at the moment, because size is a huge thing in the Knack games. And so when you do this like body slam move and you slam down on the ground, you go from being like 12 feet tall to 2 feet tall for a second. It's just for a split second, but you see that number just dive down from 12 to 2, and then it goes right back up. Because when you slam on the ground, all of the bits of you just fly away from you.
Well, they have to pull right back together.
And then they just immediately pull right back together. It's a neat small little thing. Animation is much improved in this one than it was in the first game. They've thought of all of these little things, and so every time you do something, if you have there are co-op moves where one person is standing there and the other player character can do, like, how in anime the characters do, like, the 1,000 punches, and it's just, machine gun punches basically.
Yeah.
So
for those wondering, think JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with the Aura punches.
Yeah, I'm also thinking of there was there was one game where you punch the moon. I don't remember what the game was, but it had that same type thing where your arms are just going a million miles an hour, and this is one of their special moves in this game. And if you're standing behind the other character, you can punch through their body, and it basically shoots out the little pieces of knack like a machine gun. So, so you're
Sounds
hitting guys
awesome.
all over the place just because the other character is punching through your body. Um,
It sounds awesome.
it is really really fun. They have really thought about the co-op this time around. I guess that means maybe they realized that a lot of people were playing the first game in co-op and built some better co-op experiences in this, because they also do some quick time events that are co-op based quick time events that when you fail, they're hilarious. Uh, so you'll have a section where you have to do these quick time events, and it's things like you have to swing on a giant chain, and that will throw you up into the air towards a tower that you'll then grab on with your claws and swing around. Pull yourself back around, slingshot around the tower, down onto some enemies, and there will be something that flies up in the air that would intercept your path, but then you hit a button to where you drop all of your bits and you're down to just the tiny version of Knack instead of the giant version of Knack. And you go through that little thing, and then all of your relics come right back to you at that point, and then you punch somebody that's on the ground. And
It sounds like a really awesome Spider-Man game.
a little bit. Those sections do feel a little bit Spider-Man, um, but they also all are sections where both of the Knack characters come together to make a really big version of Knack, and all of the button presses are co-op, so both players have to hit the buttons at the same time.
Oh, neat.
And then, of course, if you fail, it does really funny things like Knack will, he'll miss the chain and he'll just fall straight to the ground. Or you'll hit the chain section, you'll miss the next section, and he'll just face plant into the tower and fall to the ground. Or in one of them, you were getting close to a bad guy, and one of us missed a button press, and the guy just punched Knack and slammed him into the ground. And it's been so much fun, so much fun. I really, they're not game of the year type material, but they're some of those games that are just incredibly fun to play, and I really really hope we do get a Knack 3 on PS5, because games like the Ratchet and Clank game, seeing what the developers are doing with that on PS5, make me think there's a lot of things that could be done with Knack if they get another chance at that franchise on the PS5.
Maybe they will.
I really hope so. The Knack games have been probably my favorite sort of, second tier franchise on the PlayStation. That was the first game I bought with the PS4, and so I have had like this special love for the Knack series, and I talk about it all the time. You've probably seen on Twitter, people I mention Knack a bunch on Twitter, and so I would love to see a Knack 3. And it also seems like one of those franchises that was destined to be that sort of multimedia franchise for Sony,
Hmm.
because it would make a perfect like Netflix style show. It's a great kids property that I think could have been really popular if it was handled properly. So,
Yeah, I'm wondering if who Sony could have gotten to do it, or
I don't know. It would have
well,
been
heck, they
somebody
have
like
their own networks and stuff for that, don't they? So it shouldn't
probably.
it could have been easily been in house.
Yeah. It seems like the perfect type of thing for, I guess, like DreamWorks or whoever did How to Train Your Dragon. Is that DreamWorks? I think that was DreamWorks.
For
So,
how to Train Your Dragon, yeah,
yeah.
DreamWorks.
Yeah, I think that was DreamWorks. So, It could have been like a Spyro type thing or a How to Train Your Dragon type thing. Uh, and I'm really surprised we didn't. I guess it's been the butt of jokes for the entire PS4 generation, but I truly enjoy that franchise. And we're about halfway through the game right now, and it won't take us very long to get through it.
Hmm.
So, really, really like that game a lot. So, that is what I have been playing this week. How about we take a quick break and we come back and we talk about the two big video presentations that were done this week? All right. So this week we got not one, but two big. Well, I say big. One of them was big. One of them was kind of short, but got a lot of information out of it. Video presentations this week. One from Sony, one from Nintendo. So let's go ahead. Let's start with Sony because that was the bigger one. It lasted longer. It was on Wednesday, right?
Yes, Sony did the
Yeah,
big thing on Wednesday.
and it lasted about 45 minutes where they showed off a bunch of PS5 titles that are in the works. The one that started off the whole thing got leaked beforehand, and that is that we are actually getting a new Final Fantasy game.
Final Fantasy 16.
Final Fantasy 16, and it got leaked a couple of days before the event. So it was not a surprise, but
Yeah,
still.
but I mean, you could say this for anything when it comes to Final Fantasy leaks. It's like, oh my gosh, new Final Fantasy. Everyone's gonna be like, sure, buddy,
Yeah,
sure.
well, that's true. So yeah, Final Fantasy 16 is a thing. It is coming, and it looks like they are actually going back to a fantasy setting.
I,
So
I'm fine with that, even though I do like the future tech stuff more myself. But that's fine.
yeah, see, and I much prefer the actual fantasy Final Fantasy games. So everything up through like 5, basically.
There's a fine middle line in between there, and I can settle for that too.
6 is sort of it's sort of a fantasy steampunk thing. 7's just straight up,
I want to say
sci-fi.
6 is where they were like moving up in technology, and then seven's like, yeah, we went a little too far. Dial
And
it
then
back a
8 they
bit.
brought it 8 and 9 I think brought it back towards a more
Uh,
fantasy setting.
8 was more like stabilized technology, but kind of falling back a little bit. And then 9 was like, we're back in the steampunk fantasy setting.
Yeah. So, Final Fantasy 4 is my favorite Final Fantasy. It has been for years. That is my favorite era for Final Fantasy is that Super Nintendo era. But Final Fantasy 16 is coming. It looks really good too. Like it looks really good.
Yeah,
They
that
are
that trailer is just watching. I'm like, this is either a Square Enix thing or it's just Final Fantasy 16. Give it a second. Chocobo, Final Fantasy 16.
it was a white chocobo too.
Best chocobos. Chocobos.
So uh,
Doesn't even matter on the
yeah,
color, it's just a chocobo.
it does also look like they are sticking with the more action style of combat stuff
Mm-hmm.
like Final Fantasy 15 had, like Final Fantasy 7 remake. Um, it is not turn-based in any way. It is a straight action RPG.
There's a part in that trailer where you're seeing some of the combat and monsters, and you got that one character go and he gets some marble with the plant monster
Mm-hmm.
that's named after cigarettes, and you see it.
Marlboro.
Yeah, you see that thing come rushing out, and it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know they're fast.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
this might be like a kind of a very action oriented thing.
did I hear correctly that this is being done by the Final Fantasy 14 team?
It did have looks of 14 in the design here and there. I don't know if you actually did hear that, but I can kind of see it in there. But at the same time, it doesn't really surprise me that it's in there. I mean, it's Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
so there's some art direction that carries over here and there.
Yeah. That's true. This was the one thing when I saw this, it was like, okay, maybe I want to get a PS5 first in this next generation. But no, I'm going Microsoft Xbox Series. I'm going Series S to start off the next generation. So um, I once I get a PS5, this will probably be one of the first things that I get. It is also they announced that this is going to be a PlayStation exclusive. So
Did it say exclusive or timed
it
exclusive?
said exclusive.
Okay.
I'm guessing it'll probably be a timed exclusive and it'll be a year or 2 years and then it will come to other systems. But I don't
They
know.
did note that there's no release date for it just yet, and the
Oh
footage
no, we're
show
still probably a long
and
way
the
away.
footage shown was running on a PC.
So yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's no telling when this is actually going to be out. But it, like I said, it will be a PlayStation console exclusive. I think it's coming to PC as well. But
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it did.
yeah, if you want to play it on console, you will have to have a PS5, at least to start.
Yep.
There was no indication that it was timed exclusive, but I would bet that at some point it would be. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know.
We'll find out eventually.
So, and then after that, they showed off some more of Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah, they did, and it's looking like a amped up version of just Spider-Man. Was it Marvel Spider-Man?
Yeah, Marvel Spider-Man.
Yeah, so it's like amped up. What I mean by that is seeing actual abilities being used because Miles, he's not Peter Parker. His spider ability has like the Venom blast and the invisibility and stuff,
Hmm.
along with the spider strength. But then he's got to rely on Peter for some guidance here and there. So it's not surprising that he's using powers and stuff. So it's really awesome, and I can't wait to see how we combo into stuff like that. Maybe we get stealth segments in this one. I don't know, but it should be really awesome.
Yeah. I haven't played Spider-Man on PS4 yet,
Oh, it's
so
it's great, man. You need to play it.
uh, I do. I want to play it. I just haven't uh, ended. I haven't picked it up yet. So I'm not like super stoked for this one, um, simply because
I
I haven't played the first Spider-Man. So
I'm hoping for the selfie stuff again or the picture mode that they put in even more puddles.
and I think they said that this one will be $50. So
Yeah, it says it on the thing we have here.
and then you'll be able to get a remastered version of if you want to get a bundle of the two games with a remastered version of
$70.
Spider-Man plus this Miles Morales, it'll be 70.
Yep.
So, and it will be a launch title for the PS5. It will be out on November 12th alongside the console.
Mm-hmm.
So, then they showed off a game that actually this was the second game that was like maybe I should get a PlayStation because this looks really cool, and that is a brand new Harry Potter universe game called Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh.
Uh, don't expect to see Harry Potter. He is not born yet because this game takes place in the late 1800s. So you are seeing Hogwarts about 130 to 150 years ago. This looks like it is an open world RPG where you'll get most of the game looks like it will take place in and around Hogwarts, but then you'll be able to go to other places in the Harry Potter universe, like I'm guessing like Diagon Alley, Hogsmeade, the places that you would expect to see in a Harry Potter game set at Hogwarts. So it looks really good. You'll get to create your character the way you want them to look. I'm wondering if we'll see some. I'm assuming that we'll see some familiar names, not people like Dumbledore, McGonagall. I don't think they're alive at this point. I don't. I'm not.
If not, they probably would be extremely young or
They would be
something.
super young. Yeah, I'm not up on the Harry Potter timeline, so I don't know in some of those characters. But there are names that have been mentioned throughout the books that could be alive during this period. Game's not coming out this year. It's not coming out till next year. but it looks really good.
After that, I think they showed Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Okay.
It was an interesting little trailer. You got to see some gunfighting going on here and there, and some RC explodey car action in an airplane.
That was really cool
Yeah,
looking.
that looked like it'd be fun. Like if you could do that in like a multiplayer setting where you're driving the vehicle and then your friend's over here driving the RC car next to it,
Hmm.
and then you have another guy shooting people. That'd be kind of neat. So yeah, Call of Duty,
They
fun stuff.
also mentioned that you'll be able to play the alpha. Was it this weekend? Uh, there's a
Maybe
multiplayer alpha that is free for PlayStation 4 players, and it was sometime very soon
it
this
was
week or
probably
next
this.
week.
It's probably this weekend if I had to guess. I do know there were some complaints about something, but that could have been from the video, and they were using like some abbreviated thing, and I don't know what MM. No, it was SBMM, and I don't know what that's short for. So let's
Yeah, I
move
have no
on.
idea.
I think after that was Resident Evil Village, RE8.
Yeah.
Um, Ethan is back. Hey, I know that guy. That's my name.
You're the
Uh,
star of the game.
oh gosh, that's horrible. So he's back. He's going through another nightmare. Good
Okay.
times, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It looks like Resident Evil. I mean, it's another first person game. Uh,
Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of go a little quicker through here. We got to see Deathloop, another trailer for Deathloop. I think it was the same stuff as last time, right?
it looked very similar to the stuff we had seen before.
So yeah, nothing too new there. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. Just when we were told that there was no more, the game was done, this gets revealed.
So is this just a new version of the game with all any DLC and stuff?
There was like really no DLC for the
Oh, was
game.
there not?
This is adding Virgil as a playable character.
Okay.
It'll be available digitally launch day,
Okay.
so expect that. And he's got some cool stuff. It looks like he can even do a clone mode or something. I don't know. They showed off Oddworld Soulstorm.
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of the Oddworld stuff, so I kind of got bored and looked away during that. I apologize. But it's a continuation of the 2014 Oddworld, new and tasty. No
Hmm.
release date was given during that one. After that was a surprise amongst all these uh, AAA games. We had the awesome indie game series pop in with Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Okay.
So enjoy more nightmares than jump scares.
That'll be fun.
And it was also our first look at uh, Security Breach, honestly, and seeing new animatronic or well, new robot. I guess we were assuming it's a robot, and some other things, and then the villain in the bunny suit. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. If I sound like I'm going quickly through this, it's because a lot of editing would have to go in for a bunch of stuff on here.
Yeah.
Demon's Souls remaster, no remake, the remake of Demon's Souls. We got another trailer for that. Uh, wow, that game is massively different from its PS3 predecessor or its PS3 form,
Yeah. It looks much improved visually.
and like no loading times or anything. You
Yeah.
warp somewhere, it's like bam, there.
Well, that's the power of the SSD.
With the power of the PlayStation 5. Man,
They
Shelby
did
would
also
love that one.
confirm that this was going to be a launch title. So,
So that's great. I think they did an Unreal 4 gameplay reveal thing. Basically, Fortnite showed up in there, and it's like, hey, we're a thing.
Fortnite's got ray tracing now.
Yay!
Okay.
I I believe after that they actually did a price reveal, didn't they?
I think so. Yes, we do know the price of the PS5.
And the launch date.
November 12th, if we haven't mentioned that already.
And $500 if we haven't mentioned that already. Which I know we didn't mention either.
No. Well, we had mentioned the launch date before.
Did we? Well,
because we've announced that a couple games were coming out on the 12th alongside the system.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, $500 for the base version and then $399, so $400 for
the one without the disc.
The all digital version. That is an expensive disc drive.
It probably is.
It's just a Blu-ray disc drive. It can't be that expensive.
So yeah, we have the price date. We have or the price and the date. Price date. Gosh.
Price date.
Coining a new term. After that, they were kind of widening it down, and snuck in a short little logo for God of War.
Yep,
and it said Ragnarok is coming.
So, yeah, I heard the music. I was driving when this part was on, but I heard the music. I was like, that sounds like God of War.
I saw the logo. I'm like, that's God of War. And then we got runes. It's like, I think it's still God of War.
Yeah.
And then it said Ragnarok. Sure. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're getting a sequel.
Yeah. So a new, Viking-based, Viking-themed God of War game.
I mean, we got to go and fight against Thor, who was showing up at the end of the last one after things happened. So I think it was last month, Sony said there would be plenty of heads up before pre-orders would begin.
Yeah, that was a lie.
At the end of the thing, they said pre-orders, or they didn't actually say when pre-orders were going live. Jeff Keighley tweeted out the 17th, I believe is what it was. And then Sony tweeted out, the 17th of this month, September. So, GameStop being GameStop decides, the thing is over. It's the 16th. We're GameStop. We can do what we want. So they start taking pre-orders. Then Target follows suit. And then Best Buy follows suit. That's when I got it added to my cart, and then I couldn't check out. Then Walmart follows suit. Then Amazon follows suit.
Yep, the pre-order for the PS5 was just a mess.
So all these retailers are just, like, oh, hey, pre-order now. And then you can't pre-order anyway, and it is a real mess, and people are complaining at Sony, and Sony's like, it wasn't us, guys, and we're pissed off too.
Yeah.
Whereas, and then Xbox, they had to get a jab in. They're like, our pre-orders go up on this date. You'll be able to pre-order on this day for this amount for our Xbox.
Yeah, they tweeted out not only date, but the time you would be able to start pre-orders.
Yep.
So
they had to get their little jab in there. And they did add in a little thing, which good on them for this one. I hope Sony kind of follows suit with this, which Sony's gone in and apologized for the mess that retailers have caused them and said, we're getting more out there. So so if you haven't had a chance to pre-order and you're trying to, just give it a little bit of time. It's not the end of the world if you don't pre-order, and if it is, holy crap.
You just have to wait a little bit.
Holy crap, what kind of situation are you in where the world's ending if you can't pre-order? But Microsoft added an extra stipulation to theirs, where if any retailer breaks the street date for pre-orders or whatever however you want to call this, they're going to limit the number of units going to those places, and they're punishing the retailers for this then.
Which they should.
Yeah. And another problem was Sony also had sent out a sign-up thing where you could be one of the first people to pre-order the PlayStation 5, and from them specifically. Well, you're not the first person anymore.
Yeah.
Those emails did actually go out, and the people who got them, I did see one person was like, well, I've already pre-ordered from wherever, so I'm not using this. So, I'm sure there's some people that aren't pre-ordering from Sony at all, but I didn't get an email from Sony, so where's my email, Sony?
You don't get one.
Apparently not, but it doesn't matter. I know it's a randomly picked thing, so
Yeah.
whatever.
Before we move on from PlayStation, there's one other thing that we have to mention, and that was their announcement of the PlayStation Plus collection.
I scrolled right past that. I apologize.
So this is. Oh, I saw a lot of people tweeting out afterwards. This is Sony's version of Game Pass, and that is not what this is. Basically, what this is on launch day for the PS5, they are going to, for anybody that has a PlayStation Plus subscription, you'll just be able to, if it's not, automatically started, you'll be able to download a library of PlayStation classics, basically, from the PS4. So the Nathan Drake collection, God of War, Days Gone, Persona 5, Monster Hunter World, games like that.
Yeah,
That
I'm probably gonna transfer my save over to PS5 for that Persona game. I hope I can do that. I really hope.
Yeah, so this is at no additional cost if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber. A lot of these games have been made available on PlayStation Plus at some point, but if you miss them, you'll have another chance at it. So I see the list of games confirmed so far, and it's about 15 or so. It's God of War, Bloodborne, Persona 5, Resident Evil 7, Last of Us Remastered, Monster Hunter World, Last Guardian, Detroit Become Human, Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Mortal Kombat X, Days Gone, Final Fantasy 15, Fallout 4, Uncharted 4, Ratchet and Clank, Until Dawn, and Infamous Second Son.
Yeah, they haven't forgotten about Infamous, but they've forgotten about Infamous.
Man, the Infamous Second Son is a good game.
It is. While I'm thinking about it, they did confirm that 99% of the PlayStation 4 games will be backwards compatible on the system. So I'm guessing the 1% may be like something that uses a specific controller thing, or it might just be some weird game of some type. I don't know.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good presentation from Sony altogether.
It was.
Game wise, just a couple of things I'm really excited about, but it's good now to know we finally have actual release date and pricing for both next gen systems. And that's the biggest thing that I think people wanted from this PlayStation event, was to know when they could get it and how much it was going to be.
I don't need to have the systems on launch day or even launch month, but that's $1,000 for like both systems together.
Yeah,
It's
that's
gonna
a
be
lot of
November's gonna be expensive.
So
I'm gonna do it.
probably, yeah. And I will be, my first system will be a Series S, and then a year later I will pick up a PS5.
That's fair.
But so that the PS5 will have a good library by the time I pick that up. With Xbox, it's all about Game Pass and continuing that, and seeing. I really want to see what they're going to do with xCloud on the Xbox and how they're going to implement that into the system. So, but Sony wasn't the only company, like we said, that had a video presentation. Nintendo announced that they were going to be doing another partner direct, and this one was on Thursday, so the day after Sony did theirs. Nintendo's only lasted about 15 minutes. It was really quick.
Now, I actually did not see this one.
So yeah, I did watch this one and was very excited because they started off with, again, another game that leaked prior to the presentation. But like with most things Nintendo, like you talked about with Sony, I don't believe any of those leaks until they're actually announced. All you're doing is setting yourself up for disappointment, and then you direct anger unnecessarily at companies that didn't promise the things that you were expecting ahead of time. So, but they started off with the announcement of a brand new Monster Hunter game. So, this is called Monster Hunter Rise, and it is a Switch exclusive. This will not be coming to PlayStation, PC, Xbox, This will be a Switch exclusive game.
Hmm.
And sorry, the big thing I got from this one: no loading zones anymore.
Sounds like Monster Hunter World.
So, following in the footsteps of Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Rise is one giant area. There is no more of the individual zones that you've had in the past. And it looks really good.
Good to know. Very good to know.
So, new monsters. I cannot remember the name of what the big main monster was this time around. It starts with an M, I think, but I could not tell you what it is. That monster though is getting an amiibo because they also announced 3 brand new Monster Hunter amiibo. One is the new Palamute, which is what they're calling it, which is basically a wolf companion.
Oh, okay. That thing. All right.
So you'll have both felines and palamutes that you can choose from as companions in this game. The palamutes are rideable, so you can use them to, traverse areas quickly. And then you've got the felines who do the same thing that they've always done. So they go off and they dig up things. They'll fight with you. And if you're playing in single player, you can bring 2 companions with you. So you can have one of each. You can have 2 palamutes. You can have 2 felines. You can mix and match them however you want. They'll both come with you on hunts. And then it again has 4-player multiplayer. And in the multiplayer, each player can bring 1 companion with them.
Okay.
So the other thing that they showed off was a brand new tool basically for hunters called the wire bug, which you can carry multiples of these with you on hunts, and they are basically a grappling hook, but they don't have to grapple to the environment. So you can throw a wire bug out and grappled on something in midair, and they were showing off how you would use that in like combos when you're attacking monsters and using that to get, to use the verticality of the levels to get above the monsters and then attack from above and do things like that. So this is they put a lot of time and thought, it looks like, into making the next version of a sort of Nintendo Monster Hunter, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we don't have like the full on PS4 style, but we're getting there, right?
Yeah. So and then what the other amiibos were, it was the Palamute, the new monster whose name is, I can't remember. It's a black wyvern looking monster, and then I think a feline was the third one. So 3 of those brand new amiibo. This game will be out on March 26th, 2021. So right in time for both my birthday and my anniversary. I already told my wife that's what I want. Brand new Monster Hunter game. But that's not the only Monster Hunter we're getting next year.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, you got my attention.
immediately following Monster Hunter Rise
Was Monster Hunter World 2, right?
no, it was Monster Hunter Stories 2.
Stories 2. Okay, I recall
We're getting a
reviewing that
brand
game.
new Monster Hunter Stories game. So this is the sort of Monster Hunter light style franchise. It's not the big, expansive RPG. It is a much more streamlined story based. It is still an RPG style game.
It's a little more comical than what Monster Hunter will give you.
Yeah, it is definitely more lighthearted in tone. It has the same sort of cel shaded, cartoony looking graphics from the 3DS game. This looks much better than the 3DS game visually. You can ride the monsters. You are friends with the monsters at the same time that you're fighting monsters. So,
Oh wow, this does look a lot better. Then
yeah,
again, we're going from 3DS to Switch.
It looks really good. And this game will be out in the summer. So both of them are coming out first half of 2021, basically. Or very close to the first half of 2021.
Did it mention any amiibo support?
No amiibo for this one. I don't think they talked about amiibo support either.
Oh, what am I supposed to do with my Monster Hunter Stories amiibos that I got?
I would imagine there's going to be amiibo support. It would seem weird considering the first game had it for
And
this
then,
one to
and then this
not.
new game's getting amiibos, and then this one not to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if this one will get new exclusive amiibo or if it will just use the previous ones plus the new Monster Hunter amiibo or what. But yeah, so 2 brand new Monster Hunter games. And then immediately after the direct, they held a Monster Hunter direct and showed off, more footage, more information about both of these games that lasted another 15 minutes by itself.
Gosh.
So it was a Monster Hunter fan's dream on Thursday with this stuff. So
Sounds like it.
yeah, it was very, very exciting. They announced a new fitness boxing game. So a sequel to the first game on Switch where you're using the Joy-Cons in your hands. It's boxing, it's exercise, it's it's like Wii Fit, but specifically tailored to boxing. So you'll be able to choose one of, I think, 4 different trainers, they said, that would all have different personalities. And then you can unlock new items for those trainers, new clothing, stuff like that. There's a 2-player mode, so you can, exercise along with a friend if you want. And they've also said that your save data will carry over from the first game to this one. So if you've got a lot of, save data from that first one, you'll be able to continue. So I imagine there's still people who to this day are still using that game as sort of an exercise type thing. So if you want to get this new game, you'll be able to just continue your exercise regimes from where you were. You won't have to start over.
Okay.
Basically. And this one will be out on December 4th. New Disgaea coming to the Switch. So you're very excited about that, I can tell.
I'll be honest. I'm really burned out on Disgaea. It's not the same game that I fell in love with in high school or college, wherever that was.
Yeah. So this is called Disgaea 6: Defiance of Destiny. The main character in this one is a zombie named Zed, who will die a lot. They said, and the more he dies, the stronger he gets.
Man, it's like Zeta Hero Project all over again.
So, and they are also moving away from the pixelated style of art.
Oh, they've been working on that for years.
I mean, they've gone from pixelated to really high res 2D characters. Now they're going full 3D. So,
okay. Oh, so it's not just flat characters anymore.
No, they're using 3D models now.
Oh, that's weird.
So this will be the first time that the Disgaea series has used 3D
they moved away from sprites to actual high def drawing or characters that were 2D still.
Yep, and that will be out next summer. That was not all the Disgaea news they mentioned, though. Beginning this month here, this week actually, September 23rd, for a week, you will be able to, if you are a Switch Online subscriber, you'll be able to download Disgaea 5 Complete for free and play as much of the games you can in that week. So I want to say, I may be wrong, but I want to say this is the first time we've gotten a third-party game as one of these demos that Nintendo, because they've done this before with things like ARMS. I think they might have done it with Splatoon once. They did it with Captain Toad, where they give you access to the full game for free for the week, so you can try it out and play as much as you want during that 7-day period.
Cool.
So, the new game from the developers of I have gone blank. Bastion, that game. You remember that the Hades? That is. Oh, before I move on though, Disgaea 6 Switch exclusive.
Of course.
So At least a timed exclusive,
Yeah, I was gonna
they
say
said.
you give it a couple.
So
It's like generally you give it a couple years, it'll show up on everything else, including your
yeah,
toaster and cell phone.
probably. So yeah, that will be a Switch exclusive at least for a little while once it launches. So, but now back to Hades. That is the newest game from the developers of Bastion. We talked about that on. They showed that during one of their indie directs the last few weeks. Um, but they mentioned that it was going to be out that day, so it came out on Thursday.
Hmm.
So it is out on Switch. It's also out on PC right now. So you'll be able to, you can pick that game up. They showed off a new strategy game set during the 1920s Prohibition era in Chicago called Empire of Sin,
Oh,
which looks
oh, okay.
interesting. The main
I was like, that's a
character,
weird name. And it's like, wait, no, he said during Prohibition. Makes perfect
yeah.
sense.
So the main character is a woman, and during the trailer, they talk about, they name drop people like Al Capone and how they think they're in charge, but really she's the one pulling all the strings behind the criminal elements in Chicago during Prohibition. So, and it looks like a turn-based strategy style game, and it will be out on December 1st. They showed off a trailer for Sniper Elite 4, which has been out on other systems, PS4, PC, Xbox. It's been out for a while. It's coming to the Switch. It will be out later this year. It's set during World War II. You play as a sniper. It is a stealth style game, sort of in the vein of stuff like Metal Gear Solid, but it's not like that, espionage.
Right.
Really, it's just that you are a sniper, and so stealth is the best tactic for that.
Hit from afar and then take your shot and run.
Yep, basically. PGA Tour 2K21 will be out on September 25th. It is available now digitally if you want to get it on the eShop, but the physical version will be out on the 25th. So that is it's just the next in the PGA Tour games, except it's not being developed by EA anymore. It's being developed by 2K. Balan Wonderworld, they showed off a bunch of footage for that, talked about the different costumes and how there will be 80 different costumes in the game that you'll be able to find. Each of these costumes has different abilities, and you can carry up to 3 different costumes at once. So it's another 3D platformer done by by Yuji Naka and his company. So, and that will be out March 26th next year. And then they showed off Rune Factory 5, which is the newest Harvest Moon style game.
Okay.
So,
Sadly, it's not Harvest Moon.
This is one of the series, the Rune Factory, Harvest Moon, and Story of Seasons, they're all the same thing. They are all essentially part of the same family. It's just that the company's branched off, and I think Rune Factory is people that did Harvest Moon, just like Story of Seasons. Harvest Moon is done by a different company, but they got to keep the name Harvest Moon. So it's a weird, convoluted, like messy family tree there with Rune Factory and all these different things. But this is the fantasy RPG type one. So you've got the farming, but then you've also got dungeon exploring and things like that.
Cool.
So there's that. And then lastly, they showed off their one more thing was that Ori and the Will of the Wisps is coming to the Switch.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
So, much faster than Ori and the Blind Forest did. It was like, 4 years between launching on Xbox and coming to Switch for Ori and the Blind Forest. And this one's been out a little over a year on the Xbox, and it's now coming to the Switch. But to go along with that, they also announced an Ori Collector's Edition that is being published by I Am 8-Bit, and it is a very nice collector's edition that contains both games, both Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori of the Will of the Wisps, along with a bunch of other stuff. I should have pulled up the picture for it. Let me see if I can. But this collection will be coming out. It's $150 to get the collector's edition for this.
Okay.
And I'm trying to pull it up right now. It's got some art cards. It's got both of the games. Looks like maybe some art books as well. Let's see if I can find the details of this. It includes physical copies of both games, download cards for the soundtracks, 2 art books, and a display box that all of it will go in. And it is $150, and it looks really nice. So, I have sort of played a little bit of the first Ori game. I know you've played. Have you played both of them?
I'm still working on the second one. I need to go back to it and finish it, but I've beaten the first one. The second one is different in combat and exploration, but it's still quite enjoyable.
Okay. Yeah, both of these, I think both of them are on Game Pass if you've never played them and you're curious. They're like the perfect style of platformer to come to the Switch, though. They look like that. You know, when you think of a Nintendo game, the Ori games are very much in that style. They're sort of, while the story got really serious really quickly in the first one, they have a lighthearted look to them, sort of that Disney style visual aspect to them. So it's good to see that we are going to get the sequel, because I wasn't sure if we were going to get the second one, even though we got the first one on the Switch, but it's nice to know that it is coming, and it may be out already, actually.
Oh, you're checking to see if it's already came out on there.
I'm just trying to pull it up now and see. I want to say it's already out on the Switch. Yeah, it hit the Switch on the 17th. So,
oh, cool.
That day. And then the collector's version is coming. So, there you go. But that is it. That is all the news from these 2 presentations. There was a lot of stuff. This was like another mini E3 this week. So,
yeah, a little bit.
a lot of good news from both companies, and now we just wait. We wait for November to happen, because that's the only thing left to do. So, well, there you go. That is it, and that will be it for the show this week, Ethan. So, thank you very much for being here.
So, guess we should probably explain the Wolfenstein incident.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and move to another game because Youngblood decided to up the difficulty a little too much on us. And when you get a game over on there, it decides to put you all the way back at the start of the thing without a checkpoint.
Yeah.
And so rage quit, I did.
We had been playing for an hour or a little over an hour.
It was about an hour, yeah.
So, and got to a point where we weren't even finished, weren't even getting close to the end of the level, I think. And it was just like, nope, you're not going any further. So, I think it's probably best that we just move on.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on to what are we moving on to? I already forgot.
Watch Dogs 2.
Watch Dogs 2, there we go. So we'll see how that works. Not sure yet.
We'll see. So, I know you're supposed to be able to do some co-op stuff in there. We'll see exactly what that looks like, though.
Yeah, the downside is I think that leaves us opened up even more for invasion stuff. So we'll deal with that as we come across it.
Yep. We'll see. And so for at least the next week, we will be playing Watch Dogs 2.
All right. See y'all next week.
Later. If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.